type of mixture problem that we are going to solve. It's similar to the ones that we did earlier in this chapter, the ones with acid. But it's a little bit different because when we solve this, variables are going to be on both sides of the equation. When we did the one with acid, it was just on one side of the equation. So it's the same concept, the principle, but we're going to be setting the equations up a little bit differently. So, Dana, can you read this out loud for everybody, please?
Okay.
And this is in your books under example 3.
Okay. A regular coffee costs $28 per pound, and Robusta coffee costs $8.75 per pound. How many pounds of Arabica coffee?
Arabic, hold on, it's called Arabica.
Arabica coffee must be mixed with 3 pounds of Robusta coffee to make a blend that costs $15 per pound.
Okay. So we're going to be taking some Arabica coffee and some Robusta coffee, and we're going to be combining them together. And like the acid problem, we're going to want more or less of one of them because we got to get the price down to about $15.50. So it's going to be, we need more. We don't know which one we need more of yet, but we need some of each. So we need 3 pounds of the Robusta coffee, and then we're trying to figure out exactly how much of the Arabica coffee we need. So let's define our variable and figure out exactly what we're looking for. How many pounds of Arabica coffee? That's what we're looking for. And let's define our variable as A is equal to pounds of Arabica. Okay. So like the problem we did in the past, remember that time problem where we said the total time was equal to the first time plus the second time plus the third time?
Yeah.
We're going to do something similar to that, but here instead of time we're going to be talking about cost. So we're going to say the cost of everything, or the total cost, is going to be equal to the cost of the Arabica plus the cost of the Robusta. Alright, so this is our general format. Now, to find the cost of something like this, how do we find the cost of this? Cost is equal to what? So if you were going to go to the store and you bought some coffee beans, how do you know how much you're going to pay? They don't tell you the price because you can get more of it than, so, yeah. So it goes by pounds. So what calculation do you use? Price per pound. So what calculation do I use to figure out how much my final cost is going to be? Multiplication. So we're going to do the pounds. LBS is pounds times price per pound. Right? Does that make sense? That's how you figure out cost. All right. Now some of this we know the pounds. Some of this we know the price. We're going to use this information and fill this in. So what is the cost of the Robusta? That's going to be what times what?
7.8 monies per pound.
8.75
Yeah.
monies times how many pounds?
Yeah.
How many pounds of Robusta are we going to get? 3. Okay. So that's just Robusta. We know it's 8 3/4, and we're getting 3 pounds of it. How much of the Arabica are we getting? Well, we don't know. That's what we're looking for. So that's going to be A, right? Yeah. And we're going to multiply that by the price of the pounds for Arabica, which we do know. What's the price for the pounds of Arabica? 28. Okay. So we've got our first expression. What does this expression represent? Cost of the Arabica and the cost of the Robusta. And what's going to be over here? The total cost. So how do you find the total cost? Well, how much is the total cost per pound? 15.5. And how much, and then we're going to multiply that by how many pounds we get. How many pounds of coffee are we getting? 3 pounds of Robusta and 8 pounds of
A.
pounds of Arabica. So we'll just do A plus 3.
A plus
Does that make sense?
No.
So we want to figure out, so like the acid problem, remember it was like 20%, we wanted 20%, and this one was like too much, it was like 40%, and then this one was too little, it was like 10%, and we needed some of this and some of this, and it combined to get us this. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's similar to that, but it's a different setup. Alright? So this is the setup. And now we're going to calculate this and solve. I'm going to skip through the solving this because you guys can do that now. I'm just going to give you the answer. When we solve this, we end up with A equals 1.62 pounds, LBS.
Wait, what's the step?
Can I solve it? Sure, but it's going to take time and we're out of it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Ready?
Yeah.
You're going to distribute the 15.5 to A and 3, and then you're going to multiply 8.75 times 3, and you're going to subtract this from this side, and you're going to subtract 16.5A from this side, and then you're going to divide by whatever's left here on both sides, and you're going to get A.
Do you understand what you're saying?